Hey everybody, Sodaron here. So welcome to game 3 of our, I don't know what we're going to call it, Mad Lions video series here, but we are on to game 3 of Mad vs. Rogue, week 1, day 3. So let's get it started. I guess at this point I should be comfortable with you and not shy, so here we are. My meta list that's not completely accurate here. I just looked that up. I did see Zeri mid today, which was really weird, and it looked like it had the Corky build, so Zeri mid, that was in LFL. Alright, so and here's my little cooldown sheet I've got this time to try to do this even better. I didn't do very well in our last set of notes, but also didn't think people really care about game 2, so people probably didn't even watch it to begin with.
Because it is something that will be contested between the two teams. Sodaron has prioritized blinding it so far.
Okay. So again, my first thing to talk about is form. Is form a real thing where Mad Lions lose this game, right? So was this a product where maybe it was because the time was different on the third day than it was the first 2 days? Now the first 2 days it seemed like it was right in the beginning of the day, one of the first matches, right? Whereas the third day, this game here ends up being at the end of the day, right? So that just completely changes the routine that Mad just went through with the first 2 days, and now they got to get there at a completely different time. That does mess with teams, right? So that's form. Sometimes teams don't play well, sometimes they do. And so here's my little pick band sheet again. Mad is the blue team, so they're on the left side, and Rogue is on the right side, the red team. And so we've got Mad banning Kalista, Senna, and Braum so far, and they also will ban Renata Glass and Jarvan. And their first pick is Wukong, which Wukong is very strong, so this is a common theme I see in all the games I watch, is first pick Wukong. I don't really understand why they picked the Draven, unless Draven is good into Ezreal. I don't know. Ezreal I see is one of the first picks here lately. Azir, Gangplank, so compared to Mad Lions, I would say Rogue is setting up a pretty scary team comp here, right? Which, because I don't see Draven, I want to know why Mad Lions picked Draven. Maybe it's good into Ezreal. Maybe they want Yumi with it, I don't know. Maybe it's... Who knows?
Away from the side of Rogue, and I think the Renata ban here is very smart from Mad Lions, because they're very much on the bandwagon of we want to start fights, we want to get in your face, and removing, and Renata is a very good champion at dissuading them.
I asked something, this comp must have a flaw. Well, they lost, right? So I asked, would this comp, Mad Lions comp, one of the questions was, would this comp work better with Viego instead of Wukong? And also, is Mac a fan of Toy Story? Lately, people are picking Gnar into Gangplank, but at first I questioned, used to be, Gangplank was a counter into Gnar. Gnar was really tough to lane into Gangplank, but lately people are picking it, so I guess maybe that's changed.
Well, I will say right now that's what Rogue is lacking, a reliable form of engage. If they go for Lux here, this would actually give Rogue a pretty powerful bot lane 2 versus 2.
So,
a lot of range.
I don't know, Rogue end up banning Gwen and Jace as their last 2 picks, which are moot. We saw, we see is a Jace player, so maybe that's a good ban. And the Gwen, Rogue pick up Volibear here.
But the one thing I did want
and
to mention in the
Rakan.
second phase of bans was they focused on banning away
And
top
Mad
laners,
play the
but
first
they didn't ban
Zoe
away
I've
Nick, so
seen.
Niski has kind of
And they
picked
end
the
up picking
choosing
Gnar
to go
too,
for the Zoe.
which, like I said, is weird because you used to pick Gangplank as a counter into Gnar, and now we see people picking Gnar into Gangplank.
Very well known for his Gnar, not too surprising to see that one come out. We'll be able to follow up, assuming he has the Mega Gnar alongside.
I don't know much about Rogue or Trimby. I hear everyone talk about how Rogue, how tough they've been the last 2 years, and I hear them talk about how good they are and they beat everyone. So then I only watch like the LEC finals at the end of the year, and so I end up watching the finals like the last 2 years in a row, and Rogue has lost. So I don't know what to think about Rogue. Everyone says they're so tough and scary. Malrong seems like a good pickup for Rogue now. So Rogue do look better than what I've seen of last season. Normally I don't pay too much attention to until the end of the season where it's the finals, but I hear this the last 2 or 3 seasons now that Rogue is so good, they're so good, and then they lose. So I don't know what to think about them. They do look good in this game. So I've got my little sheet here. Mad are going to play Gnar, Wukong, Zoe, Draven, Nautilus into Rogue's comp of Gangplank, Volibear, Azir, Ezreal, and Rakan. And the game's going to end in 30 minutes. Which again here I show the timings of all the ultimates. Right, so I have track of these. You all can keep track of them. These are the ultimate timers on each champion, but they're put in seconds, or they're put in minutes instead of seconds because they just say the seconds, and most people can't tell time that way. So if they're converted into minutes, people can use them much easier, right? So this is something new we're working on, and then our little cooldown sheet, right? So I'm gonna take this away, and now you don't have to deal with that. I don't know if people like my sheets or not. I hear pretty good feedback. People seem to like extra data you can get with videos, so I thought it was like a nerdy thing, but actually people seem to like it. Rogue end up trying to invade here and get some information on Mad's jungle side, which you want any information you can from the enemy side of the map. So they do get some information on the enemy side of the map. It is good to have a ward here in the middle lane like that.
Which, you know, I don't really know what that means, but it's an internet thing, I guess.
Yep, it's an Odo thing.
An Odo thing. In any case, a ward has
nothing
in the mid lane.
crazy going on in this game. Normally, like T1, they like to fan out at the jungle entrances, like here, 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 and here. And that's typically what teams do. They kind of fan out at each of the jungle entrance or exits, if you want to call them. And so I bought us time, and now we're into the laning phase.
Away the blue buff over here. So having that ward just gives you a little bit of insight in case
which Zoe, I haven't seen any Zoe till Niski's playing it, and I don't really know the 12-11 meta that well yet because I watch LCK and LPL, and they are behind. They just switched to 12-11 this week. LCK, that is. Apparently we don't have anything crazy going on until about 3 minutes and 42 seconds into the game, with something, Malrong puts this ward in here that lasts for 5 minutes or so. So that was the first real node I made.
So last game we saw what Ezreal Nami can do and how it has a lot of trading and poking power. This time round you see what Ezreal can do when he has...
I'm surprised to not see first strike on the Azir here, but we get electrocute. I see different... Azir, you never see one consistent rune. There's all kinds of different runes that players use on him, so you never know. I thought it would be first strike. First strike seems to be catching on more and more.
You can see that a slow push is starting to mount.
And so now Armut has some river vision here to prevent any ganks coming up. Of course, we got the line, we call it, that stretches from this side of the map down to here. You cross that, you are in enemy territory.
Quite land the knock-up, Unforgiven with the extra movement speed from the Bloodlust. Was able to get away from that one, so Jimmy trying to just get a bit of damage down where he can. He knows.
Should I go over the line really quick for others that have not seen it? There's what I call the line, which goes from here all the way. Sorry, that ran into my microphone. A straight line that I cannot draw. The line, you get the gist, goes in the very middle, right? Like that, but this way. Splits the vision. So there's an imaginary line I see that runs from here. Like that, but it's connected and doesn't look, it's exact, right? So that's the line. Like once you cross, if you're here and you're blue, you cross the line, you're in enemy territory. Anytime you're in enemy territory, you may die or lose your life. So without vision, right? So that's crossing the line. I try to explain it in all my VODs.
And both the junglers on the top side of the map, but
so Mad have top river vision now, which I would think the one you really want is bottom for the first dragon if you can get it. But anyways, this is the first real big move here. I'm trying to make this as exciting as I can while we're buying time. I'm sure people fast forward through these things. So maybe people don't even watch it all the way through. I'm one that I watch the games all the way through, which it sounds like that's crazy because most people don't. Anyways, Malrong gets this ward here in the enemy jungle early, in Mad's jungle. And this is some of the most value I've seen out of a ward in my entire life because the vision that it keeps, right? So that's a really important ward he puts there.
See what if Niski can see.
He definitely can now.
Yeah, definitely.
And any information you can get early in the game, the more the better, the higher your win conditions are, right? Information is important the earlier you can get it, right? Like I've said in my videos, like the first 10 minutes of the game are the most important and where the most mistakes are made. Most people can play mid-game and late-game once they get items. It's the first 10 minutes of the laning phase and objective control that the players tend to, where you can see the best players over mediocre players, right? It's that first 10 minutes in the game. Like I say, the first level 1 to 2 is the most important power spike in the game. So that's what the players are trying to do in the very beginning, is get level 2 over the level 1 of the enemy and then all in them and get a takedown. Okay, Larson uses his teleport at 5:01, which it'll be back up using our new scale here, 11:01. Niski already used his flash and teleport, which will be back at 10:09. Odawamni uses his teleport, 10:19. So, and it's not really for my benefit. There's that ward that spots Elyoya, but he doesn't spot it, right? So this ward's probably here for 10 minutes. You'd think but he doesn't see it.
I'm pretty sure that if he uses his W.
And see, Larson put this ward here right over the line, and that helps him. Oh, that helps him a lot in his laning phase. So anyways,
on that Gromp, you'll actually know that he's spotted out by a control.
Well, we've got Mad just backed for their first back, a BF sword, which is a pretty big power spike, to a tier, which I'm sure they'll back now.
Because normally when you're invisible,
again, how much detail do I want to go in these videos? I could
probably won't
explain
use his W
everything.
on
I
the
could
top, though.
spend
Doesn't need
4
to.
hours.
Takes it. They
I'm
know
trying to
Rio
get
is
it
there.
down to
Mario's
like
well on this
the
one.
time
Niski
that we watched the
smart
video.
enough
Maybe
to realise this
maybe an
savage
hour and a
was gonna
half.
gank as well. Niski stepping forward here, has the paddle star. Also has that portal jumping knight stolen away from the minions. And Larson
Okay, so there's
chunked
nothing
out.
taken
I
there.
hope Zoe wins. She gets 7 free summoner spells in lane.
Here's Kaiser. I said it in my notes the last time. Give that man a raise. He always shows up in the right place at the right time.
She just picked up an ignite, used it, and then Larson, who had a clear health advantage.
So first objective in the game, Mad is going to go after Cloud Drake.
Suddenly lower in health than Niski after he missed his E.
Yeah. So Mad is actually going to take the first dragon.
Dragon going to be dropped as a result of that, just like
Which is good. You want to win, just take every objective off the map that your enemy. It's not even like for your benefit, you know. It's not like having the mindset where I'm not taking the dragon. I'm taking the dragon so the enemy can't take the dragon. I'm preventing the enemy from getting this since I'm taking it. And that's a good way to look at it too.
Much Larson can do about it, so he's likely going to be forced to base. Kaiser doing a good job of working with his jungler right now, knowing that Comp has already chosen to reset. Marang's going to contest this though, doesn't have level 6, but Trimby is here.
Larson's coming as well, but Marang's not going to get
So this VOD here,
going in.
our main reason is to figure out why Mad lost.
Still takes you back, so
Did anyone use anything there? No.
A very strong start to the season and a pretty strong start to this game as well so far.
Which now, 7 minutes into the game, we've got 2 level 6s, which Elioya is almost level 6 and Unforgiven is almost level 6. So we've got 2 level 6s that we could have in a team fight. We don't have any TP up though. And here's one thing I didn't point out yet, but this is a big thing. And I pointed out in my VODs that teleport I think is more important and more valuable than ignite or heal or any other summoner spell. It's teleport, which is another reason why I say Unsealed Spellbook is so OP'd, because you got teleport and smite in that. That alone is OP'd. So Rogue have a teleport advantage in this game, so like I say, unless you're going to win the game in 20 minutes, ignite, heal, the basic summoner spells, they're okay, but they start to fall off about 20 minutes, 30 minutes into the game, and teleport becomes better the longer the game goes, right? And so if this turns into like a 30-minute game, then this extra teleport on Ezreal is really going to pay off, and Mad's going to wish they had another teleport. But I guess we will see. We've got another 20 minutes to go, right? We're in that first 10-minute window. And so, you know, they're all trying to get level 6, right? The goal is to try to get to level 18 as fast as you can.
When you look at KP at 15, for example, there are players like Caps who can be heavily involved in a lot of early game kills, which is just an indication that typically...
So they've already got the dragon. Now set the objective timings, or the objective, set the objectives in the team. There we go. I finally got it out. Team, as if we're Mad Lions. Next objective, Herald. So we're going to get the vision around Herald and play around the Herald. Right? Do they say that? I don't know, because I'm not on the inside, but I would like to know. I would think that's how teams operate, at least the best teams.
He's a very aggressive player that likes
Niski gets a little thing there that's going to mess up his recall a little bit and set Larson back.
Keep an eye out there was the jungle.
30% jungle proximity is really high.
Is a very strong indicator of how much he actually works with his jungle.
Right, so the teams, and we got, here we go, here's a note. We've got Rakan clear down the bottom here. We got Kaiser, man. He's always where you need to be at the right place at the right time. Get that man a raise. There he is, getting the vision around the 8-minute window to get the Herald, which I say you should go about 2 minutes before that, so around 6-minute mark. But anyways, that's not me or us. We're judging what we see here. So 8 minutes, I'm guessing Kaiser's going to come up here and get some vision.
Now, he may have seen it and he's just making a beeline for the Swift Herald because they
so here's Elioya going on to the first Herald.
Kaiser, he's up towards this top side quicker, so...
So Rakan's down here with with Comp, so they are, and we got Ezreal used his ult there, which I actually think I have here in my notes. I didn't even overlook that. Yeah, 1410 is when it'll be. Oh, no, it's not. No, I had Gangplank's ult. No. Armor TP. No, I actually overlooked. So we got Ezreal ult just used. Not to be overlooked, should keep track of everything, right? But so Rogue is pushing and uncontesting the Herald here, and they are letting Mad is letting Rogue take the bottom turret for this Herald. So we'll see which one pays off more.
This is Mad just investing a lot to make sure.
Because really the first turret gold would be worth more than what the Herald can net. But so Mad at 845, get the Herald.
But instead just stays down towards that bottom lane.
So they've already sent Unforgiven back down here with Kaiser on his way. So they didn't get very... So Mad got the better trade because maybe they got a turret stack or two, or turret plate or two.
There are about 1,000 gold behind now, though. It's extended from a small advantage to a pretty sizable one.
So I guess Niski doesn't even want his blue buff. He's that type of guy.
Good stuff from Mad.
He gives his blue buff up to Elroya, which that's some XP even that he misses in gold. But he gives that up to Elroya, even though I would rather Niski have the blue buff there. Even though someone like Wukong, it'll really help his jungle clear speed with his E's because he runs out of mana so quickly.
The range and the scaling. We talked a lot last
Oh no, there he's getting the blue.
Ezreal can be such a menace in the late game, but
I was gonna say, you want Niski to have unlimited mana. So maybe Niski's gonna make a play and roam up top here. No, he gets the vision of the Scuttle Bloom or Scryer's Bloom and gets the vision of the red top jungle.
Objectives are going to be really important, and Rogue are primarily looking to play the patient teamfight game. And I think it's fine for them to do that.
Maybe he could have roamed up top. Kaiser went bottom. I thought we just saw him go bottom. See that? I can't even. That man is around the map all the time. It's difficult to keep track of all of this. But Kaiser is constantly roaming.
Because you look at that topside river, you can see all this vision.
I was just gonna say I thought we saw him going bottom earlier, but I was gonna rewind, but I'm sure people don't want to see that.
Already looking for the play.
Eloya is in the right place at the right time because we've got Volibear up here up top. So let's see what goes on. Odawamne's probably gonna. No, that's probably a barrel he's firing off. So Armut uses his ult, which may not be the best of ults. Could have probably got him into the side of the wall there, but maybe he's trying to buy time for Elyoya to get up here. I think Gangplank just hit his ult. Volibear has his ult, so that makes Armut uses his flash there. Do we have these in the notes? Where are we? 946. Wukong ult, 1149. Niski flash. I'm trying to learn, do I want to keep all these notes or not? Because I take a lot of notes when my favorite part of all of this is taking the notes and breaking the games down. The camera, I'm not really big on that, but you all want to see me and hear me, so that's the feedback I keep getting, right? So Armut uses his flash.
There's a cyclone from Elyoya.
Volibear uses his ult or anything.
Right now, but Niski's the first one to eat. Elyoya with the double cyclone. Odawamne does have the flash. Paddle Star going in as well.
We got Niski. See, I didn't point that out, but we had Niski roaming up here the entire time. See, we were looking up here while in the river. Niski was coming up here. So they're trying to buy time even for Niski to get up here. And then Larson's roaming up here too, but it's almost a little bit too late. Until he catches on that Niski went up here. I'm sure Malon will use his ult. That's good. He didn't waste his ult. That's smart. That is LCK type thinking there. Niski used his flash. 1428. Kaiser ignite. 1316. Oh, this is down in bottom. Okay. This was the next one I was looking for. Okay, so Kaiser's going to use his Ignite here. It'll be back up at 13-16. He uses his ult. Draven uses his ult. Trimby's down here. Ezreal.
Can jump away the whirling death to flat.
Which Ezreal just invested his ult to live. His flash. So 15-19. I'm off by a few seconds, but I think that's all right. We're getting there. That's the whole point. Okay.
Trimby with a great shield.
Trimby uses his ult.
That was so close.
But a great engage comes out from the Mad
Draven
Lions
flash,
bot lane.
15-19.
No TP means that he can only really run in that situation. Mad Lions being aggressive across the board, and Nisqy once again finds himself involved in the action. So you have a look here, and it's important to look at the
So
mid.
our
Look,
next move is
Nisqy's already
Nisqy's
roaming.
TP.
He pushes in that mid wave, and he makes his way towards the top side of the map. The ultimate comes through from Elio.
And see, they were buying time because Nisqy was on the way. There he is. And then Larson eventually caught on. Wait a minute. Nisqy went top.
Sodaron is a little bit split. He's like, what do we do? Do we disengage?
So
do we
he's
try and
on
turn
his
onto
way
Elio?
up there, even though it's probably too late, and he should have just shoved the middle lane because he's not going to get anything for going
Elio
up
is
here.
just having his way with them. Good ultimate.
I don't know if we'll get to see or not.
From him. The re-engage then comes through from Armut and Nisqy there to clean everything up.
Yeah, see, so Larson actually could have been pushing mid, so he actually wasted a wave before he caught on, so there was an error he made. None of these players are perfect. It's up to analysts and coaches to point this out, because I think younger players think pro players are perfect, but they're far from it. They make mistakes constantly.
Doesn't secure any kills, but we talked about that.
Nisqy uses his teleport there at 11:02, so 16:20.
Kill participation stat.
Ezreal just used his teleport to get back down to bottom lane, which that's something we could point out here. So there's a teleport advantage where Larson can call a teleport, but Ezreal just used his to get right back into bottom lane.
Continues to get involved. Not going to result in a significant gold lead, but
Which means like Larson could teleport down here and make a play if he wanted, or up top.
Mad Lions find themselves with first Herald, first Dragon, and first Blood.
And evens out the gold deficit that they were at. Second Dragon of the game coming up in.
So we got the Dragon coming back up, so your best thing is you should try to get vision of all of this. So let's see what they do. This again, I complain about it at every VOD, but Riot does this thing where you can only see one team's vision, or you don't, where they hide the fog of war and hide the other team. So we've only got vision from mid right now. What I mean is the only thing we have vision on of Red's team is from Nisqy's vision of Larson. And
towards it,
because Riot has turned off the red team vision for us, is what I'm trying to say, which we kind of need to see what they're setting up here.
Odo doesn't have his. No cannon barrage.
They just put a control ward down.
Could look for some.
Kaiser's sweeping back here and
like
probably planting some vision.
This bottom side. Unforgiven playing very safe, very patiently. We'll see if he.
So this is the thing, like, hey team, our next team objective is Dragon. Let's play around that, or mid turret. Mid turret's one to get.
Oversteps. That's a possibility.
Important objective, that is.
Stepping towards this tribush. Not warded format. You can see Unforgiven.
In pro play, whenever you see that fog, you have to assume someone is in it. And Unforgiven doing a great job of respecting it.
Look at Nisqy again, man.
So we've got Nisqy coming down here, I think, to help Elyoya. Where did Larson stayed mid? So there's some communication problem I already see with Rogue and Larson and the rest of his team, because Nisqy's down there. Like, he went to help his team and communicating with them. So there's something with Larson's communication that he lacks.
Very quickly, and this is why when we took,
because he should be like down here right now, or as soon as he sees him move down.
In draft, so he typically does very
so
well.
he doesn't know what Larson doesn't know what to do.
Because you're one of the few champions that can challenge his range, and on top of that, your wave clear.
So he kind of wasted time and pulled the wolves back because he didn't know where to go. And it's back into the thing where I say It doesn't matter what decision you make, really. It's more about you make one decision and stick to it. Like, since Larson went and pulled the Wolves, he wasted time coming back where I guess he should just get the Wolves. But stick with the decision you make.
Look at how quickly she just
That's where teams get messed up because they're fighting back and forth internally. Do we go here or here? Where to go? And see, like, that just happened with Larson, where he could have like kept pushing mid or take the Wolves, but so like because he had the Wolves aggro and let it go back.
Doesn't even have a chance to clear Wolf before Niski's already cleared that one out.
So that's their indecisiveness. Aloya gets a nice Scryer's Bloom there that'll clear any vision out.
Jungle proximity stat earlier. I've got to hold
Oh, I guess Mad is gonna dive here. That's what it's looking like. So Armud is up top, and he has a teleport. He can come down here if he needs. I don't remember what the exact timing is. It's around this time, isn't it, where you can teleport on wards? I could be wrong, and you still only can teleport on the turrets. There's a name for it where the teleport changes.
My point is, Elgoya looking for a dive.
They could set up a dive here. Maybe not a good thing with Rakan.
Forced to disengage, but this is
Niski lands a nice bubble there.
Jungle proximity stat comes from is because Niski,
the dragon is a much better choice to make. So Mad, again, my job is I'm pointing out mistakes of Mad Lions, and they're already a very well coached team, so it's difficult to point out mistakes from my point of view, from a person watching this game for 10 years of what would be considered a mistake. But again, I agree with Mad Lions that this dragon is objective to take, not diving rogue and trying to take this turret. The dragon would be the better objective. Don't try to bite off more than what you can chew. And so rogue let the dragon go uncontested. The Herald will be spawning again soon, which should be Mad's next objective before the next dragon can spawn, or will spawn. So I would say Mad's next objective set as a team objective Herald. But I don't know how they operate. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Larson gets his blue buff. I see players more concerned about their buffs than the objectives on the map.
Very little to criticize here from the Mad Lions. Rogue continuing to
confuses
wait on
me.
that scaling. By that time,
there, Niski gets some plates.
Hoping to leverage their range later on. It will be this next streak where I
got a good chunk of the mid turret down, which the mid T1 turret is, I think, the most difficult one to make, or the most difficult to take on the map. I mean, you can even go play bot games, and that mid turret may not be down until 15 minutes into the game.
Those plates definitely helping them out alongside those two assists. The bot lane, Unforgiven, has been able to equalize.
Faker has made a living because he gets the mid turret down a lot.
Own devices down towards that bottom lane a lot of the time. We did see it a lot.
Apparently, Mad were rotating down to bottom.
Actually, when he joined Mad Lions, he was kind of just by his lonesome. It's like, okay, you guys roam around. He played the Karthus, and Kaiser was.
So they see. I think they were going to rotate down here. I think, but then they saw Ezreal go back and recall, so then they decided to rotate mid. And I guess Mad's looking to make some type of dive or something with Kaiser and Elyoya, unless they're just putting vision down.
Here now, though, they seem to have a third prong to that trident, with Niski always being in the right place. Trimby's going to have to pop the...
They're trying, so Mad right there was trying to punish Rogue, making a mistake where they don't have their support working with their jungler, which Mad, they do. Like Kaiser and Elyoya, great coaching on Mad. Again, I'm trying to point things out that Mad's doing wrong, and it's very difficult because they're a very well coached team. And so I do see a lot of Kaiser and Elyoya working together mid-game and late game to plant vision, where here Rogue is not. So this is something that could be exploited on Rogue, because Malrong is just farming. But what the point I was making is Trimby is out here alone, where he should have out here, he should have had Malrong with him before he was doing this, so he gets caught.
Quickness here. We'll jump away.
Rakan can get away, so it's a waste of time for Mad to even chase him, but there's something that could have been punished or got an ignite, or I mean got a flash or something out of Trimby. Because see, they're roaming together to get the vision where Malrong's by himself. And it's probably some type of communication with Malrong being Korean where him and Trimby just do not communicate very well. I don't think Malrong has the best English.
Longest range AD carry. We already talked about the Gangplank ultimate, but then like playing into Zia, Ezreal, that range is just so difficult for him. Sure, in a front-to-back style, he can deal a lot of damage, but ideally, Rogue's composition only wants to engage.
And so I think the best teams, they make movements, right? So they're planning ahead. Like Kaiser's probably saying, okay, I'm going to back, get his wards refilled to make the next objective, which is probably Herald. So now he's, Kaiser is going to recall here. Again, he's out of wards, probably to get the wards recharged and go to the Herald side. Because Unforgiven is safe here because he's got the ward there in the jungle, up there and there. So he has plenty of time and information to know if Rogue is going to collapse on him or not. So he's safe there. Whereas Ezreal is not safe here. They have this one ward that if well, they got another one down there. Okay. But Ezreal's not very safe. That's probably why Trendy's staying with him here. Mad have a lot of wards. Mad, I preach and preach vision control, and Mad is a team I can't slap their wrist or anything. They have some of the best vision control in the game, at least the Western world. LEC or LCS. Is that Armut using his TP, which maybe wasn't the right thing here. It would have probably been nice to save that later. But regardless, Mad is going to invest their teleport to save their top turret, their top T1 turret. And then we've got the Herald respawn.
They are just being patient.
I guess that's all right because this is the side of the map for Armut to be on.
Is good, and it's going to come down to these team fights where the teams will really begin to separate themselves.
And that's why I like.
They're kind of showing their hand, I think. Anyways, the Rogue right there by teleporting, they're showing their hand of where they're going, which is Herald.
Mad went for such quick dragon forces because that means that Rogue, when they have to fight the third dragon, which is when you tend to fight if you've given up the first two, won't be as strong as they would have been if this first dragon was a 10-minute dragon or an 11-minute dragon.
So again, game 3 here, Mad do lose, so we're trying to figure out why they lost. I really tend to think if you ask the players, they would say that it was like a coin flip at the dragon, but they do let Larson farm for like 10 minutes over here unpunished, and then he comes back in a fight at dragon and Mad forgets like how much damage he has, right? So I want to see if that's why, or if the players probably say it was a bad draft where we needed Viego or something, right? But most of the time players just won't live up to their mistakes, whereas if they would just accept their mistakes and move on, they could improve, but they can't when they lie to the public. So, anyways, here Mad is going to get the next Herald, which is obviously better than getting the next Dragon. So at 15:24,
they will secure themselves the next Herald.
And Mad get it free. Comp was down in the bottom lane. I took note of.
Is not the strongest either. Yep. They don't have an insane amount of utility. They're kind of relying on Niski to land poke, but fun fact, anyone that's ever tried to siege against an Azir knows that it's really anti-fun. And
I guess the next
need these heralds to break down that mid tower, and I want to see them invest it there so they can
Rogue collapse to bottom lane, gets gold for comp.
And then if they can get that, it becomes easier to play towards these.
Sorry, I think I'm supposed to
it will be Rogue to secure the first
hit that button if I ever do that. I'm sorry. Gotta get in the habit of that.
Like, Rogue put 4 members down towards the bottom side. Odo is like, cool, I'm going to stand by the
crux. Okay, so let's pause for a second and play What Is This Picture? That's not a good one to stop on.
Unforgiven backs away.
Because Riot did the vision thing. So we've got a play being made up here. Top. Gangplank's probably going to have to use his flash. He probably got stunned or knocked up right here and had to eat an orange. But he has to flash out. There's what I was talking about. Wukong's ult. 16-13, so it'll be back up at 18-13. Armut uses his ult. And so Odawamne pays there, and Mad gets the...
Gets caught off guard. Armut goes into the Mega Knight, uses the ultimate.
Oh no, that's not the first kill. What am I talking about? The third.
Even with that though, you can see Rogue still find themselves with the gold lead.
You could say Odawamne didn't sniffer that one out.
Okay.
So what do we got here? We've got bottom lane. Remember my rule, the mid game, that the bottom laners should be mid by now. Comp is mid. So what is Draven doing down here alone?
Yes. They will still keep the tower alive as well.
This is where Niski should be pushing either top or mid.
The Dragon spawned in about 45
We'll
seconds.
see what's going on here.
We'll look back at this one. So Yoya, bit of alcove gaming here. Armut gonna hold the wave so that it doesn't
Dragon
spawn out.
number
The jungler
3
sneaking his way in.
is coming up.
Being really respectful, and then Tri-Bush is warded, River Bush is warded. He's like, cool, I can step up now.
There's no reason for him to really suspect this as well, you know. And he tries his best to. If he's gonna get ganked in his head, he's like, I'm gonna get.
Maybe a waste of flash for Oda. He could have just. He's gonna die. So.
And also this Herald.
Here we go again. I was talking about Larson gets a lot of free farm up here. He spends a lot of time pushing this top lane and doesn't get punished. So he's starting it already here at 17-16, right?
Being used on bot lane, sure, it's a good cross map. Gives them control over the third
Which
Drake
Larson
game,
had
which I guess is their
just
priority,
uses
but this mid tower is
teleport
still
recently.
unavailable, which
I don't know why he's pushing the bottom lane.
will
But
make
anyways,
sieging
this should probably be Armut or Niski pushing this.
that much harder for the Mad Lions. Odawamne going to catch this wave
I'm sure that Rogue assumes that he's not here alone,
in the bot side of the map.
and they don't have any vision in here, so they don't
Clear that
know.
out very quickly. Get himself a plentiful bounty.
Rogue have given up the third dragon of the game by doing this, though. You can see
Does look
Larson
like it.
down towards, up towards that top lane. Doesn't
Okay,
have
so
TP, no way for him
that's
to join
probably
this.
why. That makes sense. So he stayed there so he could help
So
with the
it will
dragon.
be 3
Maybe
dragons, 2
that's what
Mad.
makes
It's an
sense.
infernal
Ties
setup
it
as
all
well.
together.
Like, it's not inconsequential. Something like a cloud, perhaps
So
you'd be
they
more
get the
willing just
third
to say,
dragon.
Okay, we can't fight, but because they're not at those item spikes, maybe they decide against going for it. Perhaps because Odo was caught and didn't have the cannon barrage as well. That big
Dragon number 3. The next dragon will be up at 22:48.
18 minutes in. We're on a 23-minute soul clock. And for the rest of the game, Rogue have to look.
I'm having a harder time
Can
reading.
we
When I
deny that infernal
do this,
soul?
it's normally in the day, and this
Props to Armut there, finding that window to
computer's
secure
near a
that tower.
window, so you
Will
get the
equalize it, but
sunlight,
also
and now I get
talks
shadow
much
on my
about
notes.
by taking
So
down the
sorry,
mid tower,
I've
it
kind
gives
of
you easier
struggled
access
reading
to
some of
the
this
jungle, and I
during
think
this
that's
game,
super
but
important, especially
working
with
and
the
ironing out the
20 about
kinks.
4.5 minutes. That will obviously be the objective that both of these
So
teams
what
are
is
fighting
our
for.
next
Now the
move
pressure
here?
really is on. The good news for Rogue is that Comp finds
17:30
himself
to
with 2 items
18:32.
completed.
No one
He has a
pushing.
150 gold bounty right
I guess
now.
I was pointing out that there was a wave just sitting here.
Ezreal is going to start to be a menace. He's going to have a lot of
Oh, this wave, I guess. I guess I was pointing out that bottom lane gets pushed in,
The Dragon spawning in about 4.5 minutes.
and
That
no
will
one's down there to
obviously
push
be
it
the
back.
objective that both of these teams are fighting for. Now the pressure really is on. The good news for Rogue
So
is that Comp
Armut
finds
is
himself with 2
backing.
items
Again, I'm not
completed.
picking on
He has a
Armut.
150
He seems to
gold
get
bounty right
picked
now.
on.
And this Ezreal is going to start to be a menace. He's
So
gonna
now
have a lot of
Armut
damage
is in
disposal.
bottom lane.
Maybe they'll get the ultimate check. Maybe find no drops the ward in. That tower going to be the next objective for the Mad Lions. They should be able to secure this relatively uncontested. Larson doesn't really.
So Rogue could come in here and punish Niski because there is no one around here.
Sitting
But
on a
they
ward right now. Now
don't.
we'll figure it out.
If they wanted to stop this, they could
Oh
have
yeah, they
barraged
do.
the
I
wave.
guess.
They decide against doing it. So
Well, here Niski has backup. So what is the next objective you take here? That's the thing. So where would Mad Lions set their team objective? Because they've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds till the next dragon, which would be probably the next objective that spawns on the map, right? Because you can't do the bear until at least 25, 30 minutes into the game. I mean, you can, but
So
it's
perhaps Didn't want to fully invest
too
into it.
difficult and
Could be
can
the
lose you a
walking
game
straight
doing
into
it too
Dashes
early.
away, but the paddle stuff from Niski could come in, doesn't.
So Kaiser uses his ult there. Where are we now? 1903. Unforgiven is mid here, and Comp is top. Which, yeah, and I was just complaining about Draven was down here alone, so I guess Rogue decides to send Ezreal up here now, and now Unforgiven's where he should be. Right? So we got Odawamne's ult down, 2132, Aloya's ult, 2043, Kaiser Ignite, 2204. You get the picture, right? It's in my notes.
Four different directions. Marang now jumps forward, jumps back through the Nard, dodges out. Niski going in, misses the true shot barrage there, and so Rogue just felt a little bit split on the
There
corner.
is no
very willing to
vision down here for Mad in their own bottom jungle. They have no vision in their top jungle, which you need this vision because the line is now pushed up.
So the tower drops. Larson's catching the wave. Trimby face checks, doesn't realize the jungle is there. Kai's then tries to follow
because
up. Lat misses the hook.
Once a turret goes down, then that's pretty much enemy territory. Like, once that's down, right, then the line goes like there, or once that's down, then the line goes like there, and so on. Well, the line's here now, so it moves the more objectives you take down on the map. So the line, you know, going like that. It should be exactly in the middle. I can't do that, but you get the point, right? So anyways, we got a fight here.
Eldoria gets very low, but Comp doesn't have his E anymore, and he doesn't want to commit his flash, especially with Draven rotating from the mid lane. Malrang realizes it's in a 1v3, so chooses to ultimate away. But now with Odawamne and Larson in a better position to fight, Malrang's like, well, I don't have anything left to re-engage, so I guess we have to disengage, and that then puts them in an awkward position to contest their topside jungle. So Mad end up getting away with murder there. They secure themselves a kill, they secure themselves some buffs.
I always worry about not talking enough, but I think I'm talking enough, right?
Trimby gets caught early on. If he's using all of his engage tools to disengage, well then you don't have any follow-up from our run going in.
Okay, so Mad have good vision here and the Rogue top jungle.
And gold ahead, 2.5 minutes on the clock for the Infernal. And in these skirmishes, they're definitely coming out ahead right now. Comp, though, 2.5 items complete. Banshee's now complete on Larson as well. He's very strong on this Azir, but you can't look past Niski with the Shadow Flame alongside that. Luden's Unforgiven still yet to complete his first major item, but he's on his way there. 544 adoration stacks on this man.
I have a fan down here that wants to see what's going on. His name is JD.
Does decide to eventually complete. I hope he completes something ahead of the Drake spawning in 2 minutes.
I left notes of should Armut be in bottom lane while Niski pushes top. Unforgiven safely farms in mid lane, safe protected from. I go over this. Okay, that's my mid game thing. One word I wrote down to remember was collapse, because that's a good term to use that I forgot about in my first videos.
The thing that concerns me about Larson
okay, so 21 minutes here.
Why he's done it, but I feel like that he doesn't really need to.
Yeah.
I kind of would have preferred him to do a little bit more damage. But
My notes say Rogue acquires the bottom scuttle vision at 21:16.
Yeah, I feel like
which is very important to keep the Dragon Soul from Mad, right? So that was really important what they're doing now, because they want to try to keep at all costs this dragon, because it's pretty much game over if Mad get one more dragon for the soul or spirit or whatever it's called. And so Rogue now have the vision. They can play around and protect the dragon pit and keep that away from Mad, right?
But he's building out of respect to the potential of getting picked, which does mean that he's just going to have slightly less damage for the upcoming fight, which, like, going for the slightly more defensive approach, especially when your composition revolves so much around the range of both the Azir and Ezreal. Personally, I'm not a massive fan of. Not to say that the build doesn't make any sense at all, because obviously it does. But right now,
so again, this is for Mad Lions.
So
So we're trying to figure out why they lost this game.
This wave continues. Okay, mainly just using it for poke. He could have used that to help clear out this mid wave, which right now they don't have numbers on. Which is
There was something I was going to say that was important, and I forgot, so hopefully it comes back in my head.
Now have full control. Azina making his way down. Trimby going to reset.
This is probably the time for Mad Lions to just all in them right now, but they don't have any further vision. And Mad's a good coach team that they don't make plays like that, which is what I believe in.
Maurang being forced out of his jungle. The sleep's going to land.
Armor could chase this one in. They're trying to get the Stormbringer out if they can. There's the Everfrost. Boomerang.
That might have been a point where the Mad Lions were too conservative.
The wall whirling death. There's the Stormbringer. And now Maurang doesn't have an easy way to get into this pit with the dragon spawning in 20 seconds time.
But again, they're well coached. They play the way I would want. They do fundamentals. Like, that's not... Like, most solo queue players would be chasing this kill right here, but Mad is afraid of Odo being up here or some Trimby, which is how I would coach a team. But they actually maybe should have got Maurang there. It would have changed everything.
A little too greedy then. Like, Larson needed to get that extra wave in top.
Larson's actually overextended here. He is way past the line. Or no, the line's still middle here, right? So he's just on the line.
Now they have control.
It's once that's down, then the line moves there.
Of a mid, but Niski leveraging his poke to force all that damage down onto Maurang is going to make accessing this river so difficult. Trimby's going to be spotted out by Elyoya, and it's Mad with full control.
What I was saying is Mad could have engaged Larson right there. Probably got him, but again, they play like I want to, where it's calculated risks. You don't just take fights just to take them.
Asking now, can we go?
And so Mad go for the dragon here at what, 22:51.
Bubble down, Larson can step in. There's the quickness looking for Unforgiven. Kind of rush coming out as well, but Armand is keeping the rest of Rogue away.
Okay, so what do we got going on here? Trimby used his charm and ignite. That's some of the first layer of CC that would be important. Kaiser hasn't used his yet. And so Armut, Kaiser are trying to zone Rogue away over here so they could take the Mad, or they can take the dragon and kind of buy some time. And so Elyoya gets that dragon, which they now have the 4 dragons you need, so it's pretty much, you know, a given game that, well, this is Mad's game, right? And this is where when you can close out a game, boy, you want to close it out. Don't allow the enemy time to get back into the game. So the momentum's still gone on Mad Lion's side, but Rogue kind of got some momentum there by not dying. So I guess they are like, alright, let's get Baron. Because Rogue's back is up against the wall right now, they need to make something crazy like this Baron play, because again, where Mad got the 4th dragon, a season ago when the dragons first started, if you got that dragon soul, the game was over. It was like having Elder buff. So Rogue have to go for some type of crazy play here.
They can get behind them here as well without even being seen. They can jump in with a blast cone. Maybe he's been seen. I don't see the pings. They're pinging on the Baron.
I don't know if that's Elyoya gets the Baron. I mean, what more can you say about that? That was a monster play from Elyoya. I used to jungle a lot. I used to make a lot of plays like that. So it's, you know, people get really excited over stuff like that, and that's amazing at the top level of competition. But it does happen from time to time for good junglers. They will get a steal. The problem was probably Rogue not stopping them. They just let Elyoya. Maybe one problem is because you go invisible when you go over that wall. Regardless, Elyoya gets the Baron buff, or gets the Baron here, which no one would have ever thought Mad would get the Baron. They were still winning and ahead without it. So it's 41k to 39k. I've said my other VODs. Maurang just used his flash, Odo's flash. We've got the timers and stuff in here. We're at 23:54.
Oh, that's the execute.
There's Draven's ult.
Unforgiven will cash out
So
to boot.
29:01. Or, nope, I'm looking at Dragon. Sorry. They're 25:18.
Off the back of that. Crazy
Keep getting
damage.
lost on my paper
Well, let's
because
have a
of
look at this one.
the
LEC,
shadow.
I'm not sure if he actually gets. I think Trimby
Kaiser
does just
deep
spot him
warding
out there.
red top
But let's have a
jungle.
look at this smite. If we could get the slow-mo, please, observers.
And Kaiser's constantly playing the vision game, which again, that's the most important thing of the game is vision, 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 and Kaiser is one of the best in the game, so I can't really pick anything out on him, give the man a raise.
Just look at the damage. Maurang. Oh, 1,800 gold into his back pocket. Mad Lions have just... Wow. They have just taken
So we've got
absolutely everything away from Rogue.
lull
looking
state,
like a
they call it,
shadow
where
of
there's
their
not much
former
going
selves,
on.
As Mad Lions looking to go 3-0 in week 1.
The Shambolic.
So what do we got our picture? We've got Armut down here pushing bottom lane where he should be because he's got a teleport so he can come save them. It's at the time, I think, where you can teleport on wards or minions. So he's got a teleport. He doesn't have a flash, though, to make some type of Gnar ult from far away, which that flash might be needed for some type of engage.
Continues.
So then the rest of Mad are up here.
0-3 to start off the LEC summer. Obviously, they can still fight back in this game, but 5,000 gold behind with an Infernal Soul staring them down alongside that Baron for the next minute and a half.
Which Odoamni pushes the mid wave out. I was going to say somebody from Mad should probably be pushing mid
with the Oracles.
Wave back, but anyways, it allows Odo to push it into Mad's T1 turret. And then we've got Odo using his ult here at 25:17. 27:56. Gnar didn't have the flash there, but that's still a good Gnar ult. It was into the wall. You never want to be near a wall when you're fighting Mega Gnar, I guess, unless his ult is down.
With a good Gnar though, and the follow-up is sublime. A whirling death.
Nailwrong's ult. Didn't save him there.
Larson will be able to get one in response, but it's only the
So there we go. Rogue is starting to really get their back up against the wall. A lot of teams and players probably would have gave up by now already.
Not able to connect. But Mad Lions, they end up trading
But Rogue
with that.
do win this
Here comes the
game.
Niski misses everything.
And Trimby can just jump on him. Oh, good flash from Niski just in time. Trimby with the lock, he gets himself.
So 25:40 Niski's. What did Niski used his flash? So 28:21. Even though that's when I can't be exact as the cooldowns with like Cosmic Insight and some other things, but I can be near it. It's better than not having anything.
Niski will survive. True shot finds him though. It's the game of long-range ultimates finding
Ezreal ult, Zoe TP. Oh no, Niski flash. 30-14. Okay.
Mad Lions, they do still secure that mid tier 2. They still have
26:40. Mad playing around Dragon question mark.
That's still gonna last under the 30 seconds.
So this is it. The Elder, you win this, you win the game. So
off the back of that.
Both teams have 26 or 2 minutes 40 seconds to get vision down here around Dragon Pit. Or I guess you could do Baron, but the Elder Dragon is where you don't want to let the other team have Elder Dragon because you're going to lose. Well, you may not lose, but your chances to lose are much higher. Your win conditions are much higher with the Elder Dragon buff. It can close out games that normally you couldn't close out.
And not the same Mad Lions that we saw in spring either. Armut looking for the chaser, one to Odoamne. Elioya coming in as well. Odoamne.
So we got all of Mad pushing Rogue's bottom lane in, which... Here, Larson is over here by himself. He had Trimby helping him. So he did have a friend over here putting some vision down, but we've got Larson over here pushing top this far by himself, being unpunished. This is probably where Mad probably need to get like Armut to TP in over here or something. I'm not saying yet, because I'm not saying I would want Armut to TP. I wouldn't right now, but I'm saying later on. I think I recall them letting Azir here for quite a long time, right?
Bot tier 2 looking for the inhibitor tower. Larson is not here. Does have the TP, but they're going to trade inhibitor for tier 2 now.
Okay, so they made it this far. I think you got to get that inhibitor down.
But is it enough? Is it
So
beneficial?
so Larson down here got the T2 turret already, which the main thing is Larson. It's not scary. It's not like an objective that's going to lose you the game. The problem is that just gave the guy you don't want to have a bunch of gold. So now Larson has a bunch of gold. And whenever you fight him, there's going to be a huge power spike.
For Rogue in the long run. That's the question. Mad Lions now retreating 5
So Larson's still over here solo pushing this. Nobody's answering him.
He's very strong on this.
Yeah. Well, what I'm trying to say is you want somebody over here answering that, right? They do have a teleport.
We haven't really been able to see that as it.
So Armut not picking on him again, but this is probably where maybe he should have been here through this. Just so, and it's not like me saying Mad was wrong, but here's like the thing Mad probably didn't pay attention to either. You're giving the guy you don't want to have a bunch of gold. It's not hurting you having this turret down close to your base. It's Larson's going to have so much gold.
The realized potential.
Right, so he's got 285 gold. And see, he's past his thing I preach about, the 200 CS at 20 minutes and 300 at 30. Like, he's almost there. And so is Comp. They're almost at 300 already, and it's not even 30 minutes. Where Armut's only at 227, or Gangplank's only at 232. The top laners aren't getting any farm in this game. They're letting it just go to waste, I guess.
That is in this.
And it's not anything I want to go deeper into detail on my video. I would love to talk to teams and work with them,
Right now.
and we could go deeper into detail.
You can see a death cap being completed rather from Niski. I wonder. No, he doesn't quite have enough gold. He did just back, but
So now they got Niski
unfortunately for Armut.
calling. The only reason I said Armut earlier, the only reason it would be Armut is because not picking on him. He was the guy with the teleport, so you would want him down here, I guess, answering this wave, because he can obviously teleport top and save the guys, right?
As well. I'm pretty sure he's yet.
But what do you do? Again, normal situations, this probably wouldn't even be that big of a deal to have some guy over here getting some farm, but this was the wrong guy to get the farm on. And it shows here soon.
Streak is only continuing to grow.
So Niski's
He's had a difficult start to this
pushing the
one, along
top
with
lane.
Rogue.
Somebody
With
should
Mad
be pushing the
continue their
bottom
dominance.
lane,
Like, I
but
think
they're
that
not.
everyone expected
They're
Niski
mid.
to
This is where maybe Armut should be down here getting this farm, but he's middle.
be an upgrade coming into Summer Split, but to see them with this
Or
level of
Armut over here and Niski over here.
control, execution, I think will surprise many. And I think that it's a
Of course, in this situation, Niski's teleport is down, right? So Armut is the only one with the teleport. So he should be in a side wave or side lane, right? Getting the farm.
warm welcome for many Mad Lions fans, falling 7th place.
And I don't know. I'm just asking questions. I'm not... And we could go into further detail, but I think that's good.
LEC
So
champions of last year, in looking in good form.
I think Niski right there was a hiccup of Niski where he didn't move. He was trying to figure out where to go. So Mad's right there, they had a hiccup in their objective system, their objective calling, where they didn't know where to go or what to do.
Trio seems to be
And you can't have any slight hiccups, I don't think, at the highest level, or you'll be taken advantage of.
Clear out all the Viva. Rogue can
And that's what we're making these videos for, is Mad to win Worlds, play against T1. The little mistakes that you're going to let them have an opening to punish you.
The waves pushed in the bottom lane, there's super minions going in there. Rogue trying to get something in the mid lane, but Mad Lions are collapsing. Jimby dashes back the Sun Disc there to give them a bit of extra safety.
So the Baron's coming up really soon. The Elder Dragon is about to spawn here in 15 seconds. Everyone has their summoners up. Ultimates up.
Super minions pushing in that bot lane. Oda is going to have to answer them. Does have the cannon barrage, has the TP. Rogue. Last chance Saloon, you have to feel. Last hope for them. As Armut goes forward. 6 seconds on the Elder. Niski continues to poke and prod his way from long distance. Elioya goes in, clears out some vision. And Rogue, you just can't give up this Elder, my man. You can't do it.
Yeah, I don't know why, like, Rogue should have probably just tried to take this Elder very first thing.
You gotta fight it. Elder started. Fast side alteration.
They decide to get the mid turret and rotate. So I think at this point, Mad doesn't even expect Rogue to just rotate and come down here. So they're not planning for anyone to come down here. They've already got it in their head that we've got this Elder Dragon. Odo uses his ult here.
So fast.
The cannon barrage comes out. Unforgiven just tanks it with the immortal.
Alright, so Malrong just used his ult to initiate. So Malrong initiates this dragon fight.
Shubo and the dragon.
Elioya is, I guess, targeting the dragon there. Comp used his ult. Tremby used his flash. Kaiser used his ignite there. Niski had just used his teleport. Or no, I think he used his ghost. It wasn't teleport. Armut uses his ult.
Rogue perhaps found a little bit of hope in this game. Comp stepping forward. Elioya has to dash away. One Elder laser finds his mark.
So, was that like a coin flip, or did Rogue just straight up beat Mad there?
The watch comes out. Unforgiven just tanks it with the immortal Shubo and the dragon. So low. Smited secured with a true shot barrage. Rogue perhaps found a little bit of hope in this game. Comp stepping forward. Elioya has to dash away. One Elder laser finds his mark. Rogue have got no dragons so far, but perhaps they've got the only one that mattered. Armor chased away. Comp going forward. There's two. Unforgiven.
So,
Not able to.
were they just caught off guard?
One Elder laser finds his mark. Rogue have got no dragons so far, but perhaps they've got the only one that mattered. Armor chased away. Comp going forward. There's two.
I'm going restroom break right now.
Not able to do anything in the midst of 4 members of Rogue. The TP in the middle. No way do they do this. No way do Rogue do this.
Rogue have found 3 kills. They have the Elder Dragon.
Stop the
Baron's going to interrupt the back as well.
Only Elioya in the base. Rogue. Only one wave to push in. Malrun continues to stop the ports. Good look for the stun here. I don't know if he's already used the thundering war. The Elder not enough. The TP away. Comp just needs a bit of damage. Elioya going in as well. Elioya will be shut down. 12 seconds on Niski. No seconds for Mad Lions. You have to feel. All it took was one objective, and then they find the one that matters most. Rogue with their first win of summer.
Shocked. Comp steals the Elder, and then Rogue wins the game. Wow, I know this meta, like, I've seen games won off of a single team fight before. I remember that game in the LCK, first blood at 35 minutes, but wow. The decisiveness at the very end there from Rogue to just say, TP mid, go in the game.
Yeah.
That was... I'm gonna say that was a victory that Mad had. That was Mad's game to lose.
They controlled everything. Everything was theirs until that moment.
It was a flawless game from Mad. They lost a single Elder and the game disappeared just like that. It's gonna be a frustrating loss for Mad.
Huge win for Rogue in terms of just like as much as you can go home and you'd be like, perhaps we didn't deserve that win as much as we would like. Perhaps we just, because of the Elder Soul, we won the game. Picking up a win in the Super Week is big for them, because going 0-3 going into the week and being like, we have to change so much is such a disheartening experience. For Rogue, of course, getting their first win of the split is huge. For Mad Lions, you look at it and like, well, we just flipped it. We flipped it and we lost the flip, I guess.
Well, I don't even think it was a flip. It got stolen by Ezreal. I mean, wow.
Okay, sorry about that, but that was something where I could have rushed through it and be miserable, sit here and be miserable, or go leave myself, and now we can go back and solve and figure out how Rogue won that fight. That's why I let the rest of it play out, right? But I didn't want to like just abruptly end it there because I had to do that and then I'm miserable. We got to figure out why they lost that dragon fight, right? What did Rogue do?
Continues to poke and prod his way from long distance. Elioya goes in, clears out some vision.
So first thing, I
Give up
guess,
this Elder, my man. You can't do it.
is Rogue confused Mad here by pushing this turret down? I think maybe Mad thought, well, they're just going to concede the Elder Dragon, which you can't concede the Elder Dragon because you're conceding the game, which I get because I think, again, I don't really watch Rogue, but are they that type of team, right, where they could really disappoint you and lose a really big game like this? So this was a very un-Rogue thing they did right here. So anyways, I think Mad didn't even think that they were going to contest him here because they saw he's there and they probably thought, well, they went to Baron. Unless they have vision here. Again, Riot does this thing where it's so hard for me to see the vision as a analyst. That's why I want to work for a team. So any team out there, please let me work with you. I would love just to be able to see the in-game replays and pick out what I want to see, right? That would probably be amazing. But I don't know, the grass is always greener on the other side, so maybe then I would find something else. So anyways, what goes on here? Why does Rogue win this? So we've got all of Mad down here, and all of their summoner spells are up. And like I said, first thing, they push this mid turret. Like maybe that's one thing that caught Mad off guard here because they thought they would just come right to the dragon, so they didn't think they would turn. And that confuses, like that's what I was saying earlier about a lot of times you just need somebody to make a decision and go to that decision. It doesn't matter if that place is right or wrong. The wrong thing is the hiccup in between the few slight seconds of trying to figure out where to go, where you just have to make a decision and go. And it doesn't matter, you have different places you can go and be, but the point is going to dodge something. So like this, right? And so they just instantly turn on this dragon after the middle turret. I don't think Mad expected Rogue just to turn like that for one. So we got the Gangplank ultimate going down, and Malrong just hit his ult to engage, which he's like the main source of engage, right? Azir ult is amazing for engaging. Another thing was, we'll put this in here, is Armut has to play around the Meganar, right? So he needs the team he's going to play against up against the wall. So it might be where like Mad need to be out here, and some of that is because of the Meganar, because it gives Armut nowhere to Meganar ult people into the wall, and so he doesn't really have any option. He's Meganard right now, but he needs them in here, or he needs to be out there, and he's kind of boxed in right now. So Meganar is stuck and doesn't really do anything. He needs to be out here so he can ult them into the wall. So they are like picking them off one by one, is what it's going to look like. So there he's charmed. Niski's charmed, so they can't do anything. They got the Gangplank ult raining down. So they just got the dragon buffs. Right? And when you have dragon buff, I mean, it's like 75% chance of winning. Okay, so they got the buff. Armut used his ult. Like I said, he didn't really have any place to use the Meganar ult where he was. It was Probably kind of bad for him to be in the Mega Gnar right there. So that might be another reason Rogue did the middle turret. They were waiting for Mega Gnar to wear off. So he gets Mega Gnar'd out of the pit. Or I mean, Azir ulted out of the pit. Comp had been back here the whole time poking. And then again, you have the Gangplank ult just raining down. Elyoya has went through his ults already, so maybe Elyoya's ult was not soon enough, but he thought he had to hold it because of the smite, because he's a jungler.
Has the TP Rogue. Last chance Saloon.
Again, this is where I wish I had all of the vision, and I don't get it. So.
On the Elder.
Sorry, I was probably too far away from the microphone there.
Clears out some vision. And Rogue, you just can't give up this Elder, my man. You can't do it. You gotta fight it. Elder started. Fast out automation going in.
Okay, so again, Mad, he's about to go Mega Gnar right here. Halfway through the dragon. So maybe he got Mega Gnar at a bad time. Okay, so he has Mega Gnar, and this is when Niski gets charmed. This is probably bad positioning on Mad. Again, I think one rule is you're supposed to pull the dragon out into the river, so Mad fought the Elder Dragon in a really dumb spot.
You just can't give up this Elder.
I'm asking questions here. It's not that I'm any better or know any better, but was this where I think if you're this team, you're supposed to pull this dragon out here first? Or fight it from back here. So another thing is maybe Mad should have pulled the dragon out of the pit. They got the Volibear ult.
Comes out, Unforgiven just tanks with the Immortal Shubo in the dragon.
Nautilus's Q runs right into Volibear's ult, which that probably didn't help him because that pulled him closer in. But maybe one of the first things I gotta say is this dragon should be pulled out of this pit, that this was a bad place to fight it. Again, you gotta get the Mega Gnar. You gotta play around Mega Gnar. I mean, that's just the thing about Gnar is he's great. He's a great champion, great tank, but he's got limitations that you have to play around. And then there's times like this where, again, maybe I didn't hear Mads talking after the game. Did they say this was a coin flip and why they lost the game? I don't know. So was this bad positioning for Mad where they need to pull the dragon out? And they're not like grouped up around each other where it'll allow Armut to hit an ult on a bunch of people at once. Like it only got Volibear, right? Let's see what the Mega Gnar ult hits. He just used the Mega Gnar ult there. And see, yeah, it got no one. The Mega Gnar ult got no one because he's unstoppable where he's ulting. So bad use of Mega Gnar ult. Maybe because the dragon needed to be out here where he could slam him up against the wall here. That like if they were fighting here in the dragon pit, Armut should have been like clear back here in the back of the pit so he could slam them up against the wall, but probably not very good positioning at all with the Gnar, and it got no one in the Mega Gnar ult, so that's a big reason. And again, like I've said about Armut, for example, it's not his fault, it's a team fault. So it's not blaming Armut and moving on from it. It is fixing the problem as a team. It wasn't Armut's fault that he was right there mispositioned. It was the entire team and their communication why he was mispositioned. So don't blame him. Work on it together, guys. That's part of the problem, is you're wanting to blame one person or one problem instead of blaming yourself and fixing it, right? The whole problem, the whole thing with coaching, me wanting to coach, being a good coach, it's about fixing the problems. It's not about pointing them out, because anyone can point out the problems. It's being man enough to say you made a mistake and fixing it. So anyways, they've got the Elder buff by then, and Mad is running away scared. At this point, the respawn timers are 45 seconds, so at this time in the game, you know, you can, what I'm trying to say is, like, Odo, you got time to clear a T2 turret, and then the outer Nexus turret and the inner Nexus turret, you can do that 45 seconds and win the game.
Not able to do anything in the midst of 4 members of Rogue. The TP in the middle, no way.
So they got time to close it out now. There's already like 40 seconds.
No way to Rogue do this.
Rogue have found 3 kills. They have the Elder Dragon. Baron's gonna interrupt the back as well.
Only Elioya in.
So Armut is trying to just waste his time, I guess. I mean, he can't really, he needs to be here with Elioya trying to save this base.
Only one wave to push in. Maran continues to stop the ports. Good luck for the stun here. I don't know if he's already used the thundering wall.
Oh, and he got out. That's good.
Just needs a bit of damage. Elioya going in as well.
But at this point, they got the dragon buff.
Shut down. 12 seconds on this game.
So,
no seconds for.
Again, was it mispositioning from Mad Lions? Did they need to pull the dragon out? But I don't want Mad to say, the players say it was a coin flip and they just got unlucky, because that's not true. Most cases, that's never true. That's just blaming, pointing fingers and not trying to fix your mistakes. And with that attitude, you'll never win championships. Anyways, I'm not picking on anyone or pointing anyone out, but I'm just saying. So again, this was where the dragon needed to be pulled out, I guess, or like Armut needed to be back in here so he could Mega Gnar them up against the wall. I play top and watch a lot of top, so I don't know. It used to be jungle, and then it was AD, and then it's been some mid and top. So I'll help you, Armut. I know people want to blame you for things where it's just miscommunication and not your fault. And so that failed. The Gnar ult failed. I'm not saying that I then couldn't use Wukong ult. At this point, Niski's probably really useless right here, and this, because just the way his kit is. The people need, or the champions, the enemies, they need to be grouped up, and Rogue is not allowing them to be grouped up at all. That was really smart on Rogue's point. I'm just saying, at this point, what is the Zoe pick gonna do here? It's not gonna be able to do any damage. It's only gonna be able to, like, bubble one person. So at this point, Zoe's kind of useless, at least here, like, where again maybe the dragon needs to be out of here and Zoe can do damage on the dragon and on the enemies. And I'm sure there's more to it, but that's what we're going to pick out today. And so I made it through game number 3. I'm sorry that it took so long. I wanted to have this out on Monday, but I really like taking the notes and enjoy watching the pro teams, so that's some of the reason why I didn't get the VOD recorded till late. I'm doing the camera stuff because my feedback is people want to hear from me. Now, if I had my choice, I'm not really a camera type of person. I don't really want my ugly face on the camera, but I don't want to break all the cameras out there. So, but my voice apparently outweighs that. So my voice needs to be heard, and so you got to put up with my face. But I like the note taking and the analysis. It's really what I put off is the recording the videos, so I'm sorry. My main my main job, I guess, right now is to analyze and get VOD reviews of the Mad Lions game out. I would like to get Evil Genius too. And then I am an LCK aficionado, so I have to watch all of the LCK games during the week. We've got a whole series I can catch up on now because I got the VOD done today. So I'm glad to get this game done. I probably didn't get to say or use all my notes or what I want to say, but we got it done. So here we go on to week number 2. That's my problem, is I'm kind of a perfectionist, so I will put stuff off and put it off and put it off, trying to improve it. Or I gotta let it go on to week number 2. So this was the last day, and now we will have 2 more games. Friday, Saturday, so maybe hopefully we get a VOD out Sunday or Monday. Getting the VOD out on Monday would be really nice, or both VODs. So there's that. I don't think I'll get any EG, at least out this week. So at least I got week 1 done and out of the books. And I will see you back for games number 2. I think that's good enough. So I will see you on game number 4. So thank you. Please check out the rest of the Sodaron